Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Frost Esports Twitch channel. Today, we have Blizzard number 59, the Rocket League tournament held by, of course, Frost Esports. I am Starcoin here, and I'm joined by my co-caster, Doc Raz. Doc Raz, how are we feeling on this beautiful night?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to watching a really good game.
Yeah, we got a really good one on our hands for the first match of the night. We got Vamp versus Cachoras, and both of these teams coming off of a pretty good win against very solid teams. Cachoras 2-0 high caliber in the winners quarterfinals, and Vamp actually 2-1ing Aspire. So a little bit of an upset right there. But we're just about ready to get off, and a great start for Cachoras as Valtman just gets in right off the kickoff.
Great way to let them know what they're getting for.
Yeah, that does not get better than that. Kickoff goal, it really sets the tone for how you are here to play. But the second kickoff comes in. This one goes a little bit better for Vamp. Another shot put on target. This one is saved, though, and now Vamp has control of the ball.
50 Jimmers takes a shot wide of the net. Nobody's there. Variety's going to take another shot. Poncho takes it over to the wall. And Poncho does beat Riz. Jimmers knocking it over to the opposite corner. Mazo cuts him off. Jimmers misses a block. Shot, nice block. Sorry.
Nice shot by Flickzy there. Variety looking to get smooth with it, but he loses control, and now Poncho trying to take this one the other way. The 50 is one double commit by the side of Vamp. That could be dangerous. The demo comes in as well, and that is just your textbook demo play. You make something happen off the double commit there, and there was no chance for Vamp.
Quick and easy, putting themselves ahead of the other team real early on in the game. I said earlier, setting the tone real nice. Other team's going to have to really turn it around if they want to come back.
They are, as right now Vamp wins the kickoff yet again. Jimmers with a pretty good opportunity. Flickzy gets beat to the ball, and now the ball's going the other way once again. Mazo in front, huge bump play. Jimmers is forced to make the save, but thankfully for them, they are able to make it and keep their team down by 2 to keep this game looking somewhat manageable. As right now, the defense starting to solidify on the side of Vamp, but Cachoras looking to keep the pace up and keep on the pressure.
Good 50 by Flickzy, but it's not going to go anywhere. Paco's going to knock it right back to the blue half. Paco by himself beat Flickzy. Another one.
That's 3-0 now, and really solid solo play by Paco there. Flickzy misreading, getting a little bit aggressive, and you're going to get beat on that one all day. 3-0 for Cachoras. We got Vamp now trying to gain some possession off the kickoff. Jimmers has another opportunity, and that is a miss flip on the back line of the orange team. Cachoras finally letting one in. It just seems like that's always when the first goal gets scored by the trailing team, is when that lead gets to 3. And yeah, the tradition stays up. Cachoras get up 3-0, and then Vamp scores there first to chop the deficit down to 2.
The shot. Paco might be able to come out with another one. Flickzy blocks him early. Poncho sets it up. Paco on the other side can't quite make it over there. Flickzy defensive position, carrying the ball over Poncho. Mazo goes back, giving Flickzy another shot. Blocked. Already trying to keep it in there half. Not working out very well for him. They're back in the blue side.
Variety now with a little bit of space, looking to do something. Steals the boost and wins the 50. Almost gets the bump on Mazo, but Mazo is just a little bit too sneaky. Gets away with it. Mazo sets up for a perfect shot, but they whiff the ball a little bit. And now Vamp has another chance to get their second goal and chop this deficit down to 1 with 2 minutes still left to play. Awkward touch from Jimmers though, but a great second touch from Variety to get that ball reset.
They are having a hard time keeping it out of the blue half. Orange is they're just keeping it in there. Nothing they do, if they get it out, it's out for a couple of seconds, and they get it right back. Really going to have to push out of their half if they want to make something happen here. 1 goal is not going to be enough.
It's not. They're still down by 2. And the problem is, like you said, isn't clearing the ball out of their own half. It's keeping it on the orange half. And that's just something that they're going to have to fix in this last 80 seconds or so if they want a shot at coming back.
There's a good opportunity.
That is a real good opportunity. Paco, though, is able to clear this one away. Jimmers with another setup, but it still goes the way of the orange. Cachoras in the lead, in firm control of this match. A huge bump from Pacho. Sets up a nice shot for Paco, but Fizzy. Great gameplay and great game sense to recognize what's going on and shut that play down. But now, 60 seconds to go, and Vamp still down by 2. They need to get something going pretty quick.
Fizzy with another shot. Jimmers follow-up. Good bump. Can't get it. Mazo keeps the block, and it's not enough. Variety scores within 1. They're back in the game. They've got a good shot now. They are not out of it.
That they do. 43 seconds to go. That is very, very doable. And Vamp has proved that they can score. The defense of Cachoras can bleed. They just got to keep attacking the beast while it's weak. And right now it was the perfect time to attack. Variety with a great setup. Jimmers coming at it from a very awkward angle. And Jimmers, though, winning the 50. That's going to get this one back towards the center, but definitely not the touch you want. Another huge setup from Variety, but it's not going the other way. Poncho in a 1 versus 1. Jimmer wins it, keeps their team alive, and with 20 seconds to go, Vamp regain control, and they are driving down the field. Fizzy putting another one on, but Mazo just taking it slow, slowing the pace down, and that one's off to the corner, and Cachoras have a little room to breathe for now.
5 seconds. They've got a shot, but they're going to have to get... Oh, they're out for that one. That's unfortunate. First game down. Definitely can turn it around on the next one. They came back at the end there. They're definitely not out of the series.
They are definitely not out. That was a really great awakening from Vamp in the second half of that game. Cachoras, of course, getting up to a 3-0 lead is not where you want to be for Vamp. But whenever you can score 2 in a row, you can really... So you can really prove that you can score and that you can win this game. All you got to do is tighten up on defense and, of course, keep scoring at that pace. If they played exactly how they played in that second half, they will probably win this game because in the second half, the Cachoras only scored 1, I believe, and Vamp scored 2. So the chance of game 3 is very realistic for Vamp.
As you said, all 3 of their goals were really quick in the beginning of the game. For the rest of the game, they were just basically trying to hold on to the lead, and they were just not having it. So if they can keep up the pressure from the end of the last game, we should see a different game than the last match for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, but the start goes the same as game number 1. Poncho with the first goal after a great setup from Mazo. And
on a bright note, it wasn't a kickoff this time.
That is true. That is true. They do not get the score off the kickoff, so a little bit more time to think for Vamp before they get scored on. Now they just got to strike back. They can't let Cachoras get up 3-0 again, because if they do, then that's going to make the comeback really difficult. This is a pretty awkward look for Vamp, though. All 3 of their players are in the attacking half of the field. If Paco can set something up for one of their teammates, then that would have put Vamp in a really, really tough spot. But lucky for them, they are able to clear this one away. And now they have a little bit of room to breathe. And they are forcing Cachoras to make this clear, but they waste no time doing so.
Looks like he was going for a reset, gave up on it. It was a good catch. Unfortunately, not able to do anything with it. Gets stopped immediately. Playing the ball in the half. Mazo takes a ball off the top, tries to set it up for his teammate, but it's too high. Variety's going to clear it out of there. Jimmer's just going to beat, and now it's going to be Poncho's ball in their corner.
Variety
Variety with
looking for an angle. Fuzzy misses the shot. And Jimmer's trying to set another one online. But Cachoras, the defense is just too good. And now they try to make their way onto the blue side of the field. But Vamp now showing some really good aggression and forcing Cachoras to stay on their back foot.
I feel like they've spent more time in the orange half this first 2 minutes of the game than they did most of the first game, so it's nice to see they've really stepped up the aggression. Seems to be working out pretty well for them. That was a risky clear. This is a little awkward in their net, and Mazo squeaks it on by both defenders. 2-0.
2-0 Cachoras, and this series is looking a little bit rough for Vamp, as right there, Mazo basically had a penalty kick. But not much you can do there. Mazo's a very good shot placer, and they just placed the shot a little better, and Cachoras go up 2-0. And all Vamp have to do is they just have to stay focused. 3-0 is almost on the board, but Fizzy makes that save, keeps the lead at 2. There's another shot put on, but Variety's the save this time. Jimmer's now with another save, but Paco slam dunks it through. And we have another 3-0 lead for Cachoras, and I think this game might be nearing its end.
The aggression from Cachoras here, even in the last 20 seconds, seems like they're playing an entirely different game from those first 2 minutes. They're very aggressive, and it's working very well for them.
It is working very well. Vamp just not able to keep up. Right now, they're just getting outpaced, outmaneuvered. Really, they're getting out-Rocket Leagued, for lack of a better term. And also, one thing that I want to point out is the aggressive play from Cachoras is really, really affecting the strategy from Vamp, because it just seems like no matter how much time they got and how much space they think they have, there's somebody on the Cachoras side in an orange car coming for a bump, and they almost always get it. And it just makes everything a little bit more awkward for Vamp. That is a pretty huge aspect to why Cachoras is winning so decisively. Of course, they're playing better, they have the better strategy, but you also got to put the demos in effect as well.
Definitely need to change something up here, or this game is going to be over for them. They're farther in the hole than they were on the first game, and playing aggressive to try to outpace them is not working out. So they really just need to maybe get some more pass plays going and stop trying to solo carry the ball into the opponent's field and just letting it go.
The pass plays will definitely be a big step up. Another thing is...
Ooh, that's a big whiff.
That was rough. Yeah, minute 10 to go, still down by 3, and we thought this game might go a little bit better for Vamp, but I mean, this is going debatably even worse. Great save by Mazo there to keep Vamp scoreless, and now Cachoras are the aggressors once again. And Poncho look for a solo play. The air dribble comes out, almost beats the man, but the man is able to make that save, send it back towards the orange half. Variety with a great setup, and a shot is put on.
Okay.
And Fizzy will score, but it might be too little too late.
Might be. If they can play like they were in the first 2 minutes of the game, they might have a chance to bring it back, but they're really going to have to throw everything they have at it. They can't keep sitting back.
Cannot. They got 38 seconds to score twice. It is doable, especially
oh my God.
if you get a kickoff like that. Variety, huge kickoff win, puts them down by 1.
Would not ask for a better kickoff off that.
Yeah, you cannot. Maybe a little bit faster, but other than that, that was a best case scenario if you are on the side of Vamp. And now they just got to score one more time.
Good cheat. They're ahead. Oh, a little bit of team miscommunication there. They should have had that shot.
They should have. They won the kickoff as well. They had a huge opportunity. Fizzy with another
Double
setup. The double commit, though. If the third man was back, that would have been in. But now Cachoras have control, and they are driving down the field. Poncho looking for the nail in the coffin, but Fizzy moves the hammer away. 10 seconds left. Variety, it's off. They've got to keep it up, and all that Mazo needs to do is hit it down. Variety keeps it up. Fizzy looking for a shot. It's wide, and it is down. Cachoras hang on, and they advance to the winners final. Wow, Vamp. They looked like they might come back in the last couple of seconds both times, but they don't. Cachoras hang on just long enough to advance to the next round, but a great attempt by Vamp.
Really looked like they were going to come back at the end of that one.
Yeah, they looked really solid in the last minute of that game. They looked amazing. They looked like they could have a real run in the lower bracket, and we might see them back in the grand finals. They're a very solid team. They got to do some sanding around the edges, and once they do that, they might be they will be a team to watch out for in the lower bracket. Just some little changes that they have to make. There was nothing really detrimental in their game. Just smooth out around the edges, and you will be good to go. But with that, they will drop to the lower bracket, and Cachoras will advance to the winners final, where they will face Bedwetters. And we will be bringing you the action from that match in just a moment. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone, to the Frost Esports Twitch channel. And we just got done with a pretty quick series. Cachoras taking down Vamp in a 2-0 sweep. And now we are on to the winners final, where Cachoras will be facing off against Bedwetters, who took down Flickzy's biggest fans in a 2-0 sweep in the other semifinal of the bracket. But now the two semifinalists meet, or the winning semifinalists meet, and we are now ready for the winners final, where the winner will go on to the grand finals, and they will be guaranteed at least a piece of the $100 prize pool, as well as the one-game advantage in the grand finals, as already Cachoras getting started off really strong, putting a couple of bangers on the net of Bedwetters.
You guys are really good at just starting off the game with just crazy aggression, getting right into it. They've already spent the first 30 seconds just dominating their side with several shots, and they're already up in the air once again. Beat off the crossbar, down and cleared to the side. Nacho Hope going for a beat here, double tap. Couldn't quite make it.
Darklight now having to do something to clear that ball away. A double commit on the side of the orange. The Cachoras does give Bedwetters an opportunity to get the offense going. I feel like the longer that this rally goes, the more it favors the Bedwetters, as it gives them more time to get into their zen state. The Bedwetters are a team that have played together so much, and they are such a good team. They have basically been the Frost Titans. They've been in almost every tournament, just making the scene a little bit warmer.
I look forward to see.
Oh! That one goes in. What a shot from Mazo, though. And unexpectedly, Cachoras take the lead first. 1-0 for the orange team.
Same as the last couple of games we saw with Cachoras. They are starting off with mostly aggression, keeping the ball in the blue half of the pitch. And Bedwetters are really going to have to focus on not just throwing the ball away, clearing like Vamps was doing, but making sure they've got solid room with the ball and making good team plays instead of just trying to make those solo dumps into the midfield.
Darklight, speaking of team plays, setting everything up for their teammate. But the defense of Cachoras is still holding on strong. A huge bump from Geoids, but it's not going to matter as Mazo is there to make that save. Geoids looking for another setup, and A just looking for the redirect, but he comes on a little strong. And now the Bedwetters will be forced to reset, but luckily they do. And that one's put on target again, but Cachoras, the defense is unstoppable, it looks like. And there's the bump play from Paco. It took a while for the bump plays to show their ugly head, but they are out, and they are making the Bedwetters' life a little bit harder now as we have reached the second half of this first game.
And Darklight coming in off the bar, gets blocked again by Paco. Geoids can't get there before him, so Mazo's going to hit it across the pitch back to Geoids. Paco's blocking it again and trying to... Oh, jeez.
Bedwetters started to get a little aggressive themselves. Darklight with a nice demo right there to just show that, hey, we can demo too. You are not the only one that can drive your car into the other cars fast. Nearing the 100-second mark, and it's Cachoras still in the lead by one. Bedwetters have been pretty swarmed right now. Only one player on the side of Bedwetters in the triple-digit points range until now. Nope, they're staying in there. Paco, great shot and another great goal. I thought that counted as a save for Darklight, and it gave them double digits. Guess not. 2-0 for Cachoras. Now the kickoff goes pretty neutral. Paco, nice flick to get it past the second man. The third man, though, was a little bit too quick on it. Geoids trying to reset. A just really nice angle on that. But Mazo sees what's happening, gets that ball away. And now Paco with a big booming clear gets this ball back over to the blue half. And it's a shot put on target, but it's going to be off the crossbar. As now this ball is just going to roll around a little bit. Poncho, awkward touch, but they managed to find their bearings and clear that one away. And a huge fake from the defense of Cachoras sends this ball over to the corner, and now they have some room to breathe. Bedwetters need to score twice, and they only got 45 seconds to do so.
I think they could do that if they manage to actually pull off some team plays. I just feel like we're just watching them hit the ball off the backboard, and somebody else takes it, and they just keep repeating the same game. And they're not making any headway with it. They really need to bait out the other team if they're going to make any progress in the next 20 seconds.
Right now, their team plays are pretty lackluster for the Bedwetters, and Cachoras are overall just outplaying them. But that is a good way to start. Aegis with a solo play, a nice ceiling shot, and that will cut the lead down to 1. But there's only 13 seconds to go, so they're going to have to get a nice play off this kickoff if they want a shot.
I know we said they needed more team plays, but with solo plays like that, if they can actually pull those off, then they'd be right back in it.
They very well could, but with that, oh, the third man was a little bit wonky on the side of Cachoras, and it led to a shot, but lucky for them, they managed to keep it out. Aegis is met on the ball, and now Darklight has to keep it up, but Mazo spikes it down. Cachoras take game 1, and they remain undefeated on stream.
Oh, Bedwetters keep it up and play like they were in the last half of that game. I think they can do a lot better. Already seems like they're doing better than the last series. They're not down by as much. Did take them a little while to get the ball rolling, but eventually they did. Hopefully they can take that momentum of getting the most recent goal into the next game and start off in the lead this time.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out, Bedwetters, a total of 11 shots to Cachoras 6. You would expect Bedwetters to be the team that came away with the win, but they were not, because the reason is the Bedwetters, they had a lot of shots, but the quality of them was just not good. They had a lot of easy shots to save, and that led to Cachoras getting, like, I think 6 or 7 saves on the game. So when over 50% of your shots are getting saved, that's usually not a good sign, but that is just what happened because the Bedwetters lacked creativity in their shots. So I'm going to need to see some more creativity in the offensive possessions for the Bedwetters. Because if we don't, I think Cachoras will be able to take game 2 just as easy.
You know, if nothing changes, it's exactly what's going to happen. They've got a solid play style. We haven't seen anybody break it yet tonight. At least not insofar as to take a lead from them. Seen them give up a couple of goals here and there, but we haven't seen anything that's been a real break in their play style.
All right, now Darklight off
that moment.
Pretty nice start, but overall, I don't think it's going to matter because Cachoras, all they need to do is get this easy clear, but Darklight has other plans. That one's in.
Beautiful. Exactly what we said they needed to do. Start off with a goal. Don't let them take an advantage on you, and they didn't. Solid goal from Darklight.
They need more of that. The team plays the setup. We got the Geoids on the assist. And Darklight opens up the score, this time for the Bedwetters. And Aegis now looking for a solo play. Oh, it's a little bit wide. And now Mazo going to take this ball the other way. That would have been a huge tone setter, or a huge tempo setter for Bedwetters if they were able to score that second one. But that one just eludes them. And they have to remain at 1 as Poncho looking to find some shots for their team.
Really nice shot. Unfortunately, just had it too off target and shot it right at the opponent in the corner. Couldn't do anything with it. Paco trying to set up a solo play, and Aegis says absolutely not. Dumps it back. Darklight cuts Poncho off, and Poncho's going to take it for a little stroll. Inch across their own net.
Darklight getting a little bit physical, but they do manage to clear out enough space so the Bedwetters can have another shot at possession. But it is very short-lived as Cachoras immediately steal the ball back. Mazo looking to get a little bit freestyly, and Paco sneaks that one in. And watch out, Sionis. We got a freestyler in the lobby.
He really delayed that flip reset to the last second. Just let it roll off the nose of his car to his teammate. Beautiful team play.
It does not get any better than that. Get you a duo that can set up those plays like that, and good things are sure to come. With that, Cachoras tie this game up at 1, and they look to score another to take the lead.
Quick shot across the net. Darklight's going to take it back up over the crossbar. Poncho clears that away back towards the blue half. And Geoid's just going to take it off the wall. Just trying to clear it across. Darklight cleared right back again. It's a lot of back and forth in this game. It's just clear, demo, clear, demo.
Ping pong action is usually not the way you want to go for either team. But right now, that's what we're seeing. We're just seeing some ping pong, some table tennis. Both of these teams hitting it back over to the other side, and nothing is really landing until now, possibly. Darklight a little bit wide. The goalpost does not do them any justice. And with that, Cachoras hang on once again, but they can't stop everything. Aegis with a sneaky shot. No one sees it coming. And Bedwetters take the lead back.
Well, I think this is definitely a big improvement over the first game. They're playing a lot better. They're getting the team plays like we wanted to see. They're not just throwing the ball away in the midfield. And it's working out very well for them. This is the first time we've seen Cachoras down 2 goals now. I was going to say 1, but Guayas comes in and dunks on them once again. 3-1.
To 1, and look at the scoreboard. You got 3 goals, and if we look at the little scoreboard overlay, not the scoreboard overlay, but like the in-game scoreboard, all 3 of those goals have been assisted. So that is definitely what you want to see. The team play starting to come out. They're starting to show their face, and Cachoras not too sure what to do about it. It got a little under 120 seconds to go, 120 seconds right now, to figure out how to stop the team plays if they want to stay on their winning ways and take this series to an early match point. But it is not going to be easy, especially when you have such an explosive offense like the Bedwetters that is comboed with a brick wall defense.
Well, like you said, they really do need to get in the way of those team plays. Cachoras was doing a great job of that earlier, but all of a sudden, Bedwetters are just connecting with almost every pass and move they take. They're cutting them off. They're just faster to the ball, and there doesn't seem much that Cachoras can do about it. We're now sitting 4-1 for Bedwetters with only 1:14 left. Cachoras is really going to have to change something up here, or this game is going to be over, and we're going to be on to the next round.
Yeah, goal is needed every, 24 seconds, if my math is right. Somewhere around there, 22 seconds.
Yep.
But it's just going to keep getting worse, and now they're going to need one even quicker. 5-1 for the Bedwetters, and it looks like we are going to game number 3 on an even slate.
Cachoras really needs to stop the bleeding here, or they are going to be in for a world on the next match. They do not. They need to at least get a goal here at the end. They do not want Bedwetters coming into that game 3 on a clean slate and just steamrolling them. And there you go. Pops right back. They have stemmed the bleeding for now, but it is probably too little too late. They've got a minute left. Can they get 3 goals just to tie it up before 0 seconds?
It's possible, but it's very unlikely. That was just a momentary lapse in the Bedwetters defense. I think they're going to be right back on their tough defensive ways. Not unless there's a double commit. If Poncho can get around this side, they're going to have a pretty nice shot. The demo from Mazo makes it easier. But Aegis, huge save. And now Bedwetters is able to, I think, pretty much secure this game. That'll be a shot on target. Bumps starting to come out, the team bumps from Bedwetters. This game is not over yet. I think, well, if nobody wants to play that ball, then this game is over. But, I mean, Oh,
That was painful to watch,
that was
honestly.
yeah. I'm a diamond one. I should not be saying anything bad about these players, but what was that, guys?
That was just unfortunate luck for Paco there. He got a decent block. He saved it. His teammates kind of stuttered there. He tried his best, but unfortunately the ball just hit right into him on landing. Not really anything he could do about it.
Yeah, very awkward situation for all parties involved, and they just hits it a little too hard, and the angle is unforgiving. 10 seconds left, up by 4,
Yeah,
so there's
nice.
really no reason to worry about it. But still, might as
Just
well try to get one for the road.
gotta say, after well, we've seen 3 games from Cachoras now, and we have not seen them get dusted this hard yet. So really good job by the Bedwetters to keep up the aggression, get those team plays in finally. Took a game for them to get warmed up, but they figured their stuff out. And we're going to be going into a really exciting game 3 with a clean slate.
Yeah, and hopefully for them, it is the last time we see them get blown out of the water like that, because that was not the best showing from Cachoras. I've definitely seen better. I saw a lot better in game number 1. But then game number 2, Bedwetters just hit the ground running, and they were able to take that lead away. And one thing about the Bedwetters, I've seen these players a lot. They are a team that is very uh they don't hit the ground running very often. They like to wait and see what they're going up against and then form a strategy against that in game number 2, which is a very valid strategy in a best of 5 or a best of 7. The best of 3 is going to be a little bit iffy because it's a 2 and done. So, yeah, overall, Bedwetters, a lot better of a game. They took it into game 2, and they took that game 1 to just kind of test the waters and see what Cachoras were throwing at them. And I think they figured it out, and I think they probably figured out how to stop it. We're just going to have to see how Cachoras will play against that, honestly.
Yep, they did a great job turning around Cachoras' play style. So now it's on the other foot. Cachoras is now the one that needs to change up their play style, try to counteract Bedwetters. And if they can't, we may well just see a repeat of last game, and that might be all she wrote.
It is very possible. And this next game is very, very big, as the winner will go on to match point, where they will only need 1 to advance into the grand finals and secure a one game advantage in the grand finals, which is a huge advantage. It may not seem like a lot, but when you get into it, it is a huge advantage. It's one that you want to throw everything out of the way to get. So we're just going to have to see which one of these 2 teams will receive it.
Well, a game 1 advantage in a final series will make or break you, especially if you're coming from just maybe you get a bad loss from the other team. If you're coming up from the lower bracket, you don't want to start off on the wrong foot, especially on the most important game of the series.
Not. You really want to strike first in a best of 7 series, and that game advantage gives you a little bit of that feeling. It's like a placebo effect. It's like you struck first, but really, you just got to win 3. As we got another passing play coming through for the Bedwetters. And I gotta say, these team plays have been killer for Cachoras, and they are really, really struggling. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to stop these passes from coming out.
I think they just need to watch the placement a little bit better, and they'll be able to intercept those passes like Paco there, block them from taking the shot, and they end up with a free goal because nobody on Bedwetters was remotely close to being back on rotation.
Yeah, the third man took a little bit too long to get back to their position, and that will get you every single time. Just something you got to work on in the future. Those rotation errors are going to happen. You just got to make sure they don't happen again, and don't dwell on them for too long. The score is tied now, and the Bedwetters wasting no time getting back on the front foot, starting to strike at the defense of Cachoras. Little whiff from Pancho. Actually, might not have been a whiff. I think that was planned to try to get that 50 and set up a really advantageous position, but it does not go their way, and the Bedwetters forcing a great 50. That's Darklight getting really aggressive, and just taking up as much space as possible. But Paco looking to change that around. Aegis forced to get that one away. Poncho a little bit high and wide, and Mazo hits the inside of that ball, sends it over to the corner. And now Bedwetters have some room to breathe, and we're going back the other way.
Great to see Cachoras. Looks like they finally picked up back on the aggression a little bit here. Tied game, as long as everybody just takes that moment to reset, not worry about what happened in the last game of the series, focus on this game. It's like neither of the other two happened, and just move forward and get another goal so they can get the pressure on and hopefully take this dub.
And that goes both ways for both of these teams. The next team to strike will probably be the team that wins this game, because we have been even for so long. The team that can break this rally and the team that can score first will most likely be the team that carries the momentum into Game 4 and carries the win into Game 4. But we'll just have to see. There have been times where the first goal scored by one team and then the other gets 2 in a row. We're just going to have to see how this cookie crumbles, and if we will be going to Game 4 Bedwetters up 1 or Cachoras will be up 1.
Yep. It's just a very long series of volleys, back and forth, back and forth. As whoever's getting set up to take that last shot is just getting cut off by the second or third man, and they just lose momentum. It goes back to the other side, and the cycle just keeps repeating. Somebody's going to have to either pull a nice solo play, get it around them, or just bait them just like that. They did a great job of baiting the second and third man into jumping, and ball's just free in front of the net because Paco couldn't make contact, and Darklight just gets a free open net shot to take the advantage in the series. Minute 24 left.
Why say it when the players can just do it? Like, simple as that. There's no need to say what the strategy is. You just need to do it. It's right there. That is a so important touch from Darklight. If that touch was not made, that would have been a for sure goal for Cachoras. It was such a light touch too, but it was ever so important. And now the Bedwetters, off of that touch, are able to get this ball back into the orange half. And they just got to hold on for 60 more seconds, and they'll be going into Game 4 with the lead.
They don't have to worry about playing aggressively here. They just need to worry about making sure they cover their bases on defense, making sure that Cachoras isn't going to get past them, and just shutting anything down. This way, they'll go into the next game. They've got the advantage. That's 2 games in a row they've won. It's going to put Cachoras in a really bad spot coming into Game 4.
That it will. And 60 seconds remaining. Something will have to be done right about now, but Geoid's not making it any easier. Poncho gets this one back to the other side. Great play to get it over 2. All over 3! And Mazo will get the finish. Spikes it into the goal. And what a solo play by Poncho to get it past not 1, not 2, but all 3 of the Bedwetters.
That was exactly what they needed to do. That was a beautiful solo play past everybody, tied up, 14 seconds left. We're right back to where we were a minute and a half ago. This could be anybody's game.
That is true. We might just be seeing the overtime. Paco lets that ball touch. That one's almost on.
What
but
mistake.
Geoids gets that one over to the sides. Another shot's put on. Geoids forced to make another save. Cachoras putting everything they have, and the Bedwetters just going to let this one drop. They know that they are getting disorderly. They have to let it drop and take the reset. Now we are back to an even slate. This game might just be 0-0. First team to score wins.
Honestly, give Geoids MVP no matter how this game turns out for this match, because without those 2 absolutely phenomenal saves, low boost and everything, this game would have been over already. So props to him for that.
Yeah, very nice play. Darklight, awkward touch. It's going to force someone to make that play, but Aegis is that someone. Geoids takes this one over toward the side. A huge demo play, but Poncho realizes what's going on and gets that one over. Big whiff on the side of the orange team. Another awkward look for the Bedwetters. The Cachoras are making the Bedwetters awkward. They just got to keep this up, and they might have a shot at taking this game. The Bedwetters starting to solidify on the offense, but on defense, they are looking very, very weird, and they are not going to be able to sustain that look if they stay on defense. They've got to score quick.
Like I said, it seems like we're running into this issue again where it's just a rally back and forth and back and forth. And with that, you never know when one player is going to have just enough space to make a move. And really just got to wait for that opportunity to come by and for somebody to hopefully slam it into the net here.
Dark
Ooh, that was a
Light.
bad miss.
Oh, that was almost brutal. Thankfully, that demo comes in, and the third man's not able to take the shot. And right there's another huge setup from Dark Light, trying to get this one down. Geoids is on target for the pass, but it's going to go the other way. Just misreading that ball off the wall. And now Paco gets the great clear. Poncho gets the better setup, as well as the demo. Mazo, perfect touch, but it might be a little too high. And now, just these two teams going back and forth with the demos. Cachoras is really starting to bring the demos out, and they are making the Bedwetters' life as hard as possible. The demos are just completely setting the pace for the Bedwetters defense. There's another demo. This one's gonna go in off of it. Cachoras hang on, and they take game 3.
Phenomenal use of demos to take out the team plays there. That was the only way they were getting through both their defense and the offense from Bedwetters there. It's nice to see them finally change up and get back to how they were doing in the earlier games.
Yeah, that was a huge way to finish for Cachoras. They got the last second goal to tie it up, and then in overtime, they were able to steal it all away. They had a couple of good looks on offense, the Bedwetters did, but in the end, their defense was a little bit too wonky around the edges, and off of that, the Cachoras just found that out. The demos made it even wonkier. They made it a little bit worse, and the Cachoras were able to score off of it, and they were able to take game 3, and they have all the momentum in the world going into game 4.
Yep, that's exactly what they need to do. If they had gone into that 4th game after losing 2 in a row there, it would have been really hard to overcome that. Not only the other team's going to be really feeling it, but they're going to be a little disappointed in how things turned out. And it's a little bit harder to overcome that mental hurdle after you've taken 2 big L's in a row. So it's really good they were able to turn that around, and should be another really close game here again.
Yeah, it should be. Both of these teams have gone blow for blow. It might just be the team that gets the next blow wins. It is especially true if that team is Cachoras, as they are on match point, only 1 game away from securing a piece of the prize pool, as well as securing that 1 game advantage in the grand finals.
We're starting off with more aggression from Cachoras, as is their staple. Lots of demos, lots of bump in the opponent's team. But if Bedwetters can turn that around and really sneak past those pass plays, they do have a shot at making this a tied series once again.
They absolutely do. These teams are very evenly matched, so this game 4 could go either way. We could be done in 3, or we could be done in 4, or we could be going to game 5. Honestly, I think it's just going to come down to how well the Bedwetters look on defense, because in that game 3, their defense was all over the place, especially in that last minute, including overtime. They were looking way too unstable, and Cachoras realized that, and they upped the demos by like 300%, and the Bedwetters just could not keep up with it, and they ultimately dropped that game. So some defensive adjustments have to be made.
There's not a whole lot you can do when you're getting demoed immediately after you spawn. You don't know where he's coming from. The best you can do is hope that you get it right or jump out of his way. And when you've got a hole that big in your defense, it's really hard to recover from.
It is very hard to recover from. That is why the demos are so useful in the game of Rocket League, but they're so underutilized in so many cases. It's really, really sad to see.
I would agree with that. A lot of people, I think just from years of playing the game, there's a big part of the community that's just doesn't like demos for some reason, even though it is clearly a mechanic, it is part of the game. Use it to your advantage because it can create giant holes in the offense or defense of the other team, and it can be a game changer when you end up in these really long rallies like we've seen here tonight.
Really can, because at some point you get into a certain flow, and if you're not getting demoed for a while, you forget about it. So the team that can tap into the demo well, if you will, is usually the team that scores off of those, because the other team completely forgot that demos existed, and by then they have a massive hole in their defense because they forgot about the demos, and the massive hole in the defense leads to a goal scored by the team that did the demoing. But right now, these are team not too many demos seen so far, and right now, guess what's happening? It's a 0-0, a 3-minute rally. The team that brings the demos out first will probably be the team to score. I think it'll probably happen around the minute 20 mark.
I feel like once we get into a little bit later in the game here, Cachoras especially does really start opening up the demos. That was a beautiful musty. Couldn't get away with it though. Poncho knocked that away.
They really could not. And now, Bedwetters still trying to clear this away. I'm still waiting to see which team will get into the demo game first. We're nearing that minute 20 mark, so these teams might start playing out of desperation and start trying some new stuff. As Bedwetters, they're just looking for the team plays. No real difference there. They are simply looking for the team plays. And there's a shot sent on target yet again for Paco and company. But there's Bedwetters right again, striking on target. Geoids putting one on line, but that one still does not want to go. We're nearing the minute mark. The score is 0-0, and I think a 0-0 overtime is a huge possibility.
It's looking very likely the more and more we see this. Like we talked about for a while there, we were talking about demos for a good half the game, and there wasn't one to be had. There's finally a demo from Geoids on Mazo, and that might give them the opportunity with the flip reset to score Fate, and Mazo's back in time to block it. Didn't quite work out that time. If they'd been a little bit faster on the shot, they might have been able to capitalize on Mazo not being there.
They just got to keep going to that wall. That was by far the closest shot of this game, so the demos have got to start coming in. Get aggressive. If you can get aggressive, those shots will be a lot closer. Or you could just fake out the entire defense. That is a huge up to their offense right there. But Bedwetters, they managed to hold on, and they clear this ball back to the orange half. 5 seconds to go. Dark Light setting something else up, and this one will touch the ground. And looky here, 6 zeros on the board, or 5 zeros on the board, as we start overtime at 0-0.
That was definitely 6 zeros.
Yeah,
you were right the first time.
To the stream, it's 6 zeros. I forgot. I forgot how to count, but I was actually right.
You were right.
I was.
All right, so let's see here. So who do you think's going to have it? I mean, we've had a lot of just back and forth. We've only seen like a couple really close calls. I'd say that was relatively close that time, but they've had better opportunities to score so far, and we have yet to see anything this game.
Yeah, we have not. I'm still on the demo talk. I think the team that gets into the demo game first will be the team to take it. And from what I have seen in this tournament so far, that team has been Cachoras. As soon as Cachoras opens up the demos and they start getting aggressive, I think they will take this series in 4. But if the Bedwetters get the demos, then they will probably take it. Honestly, I hope the Bedwetters take it so we can go to game 5, but honestly, with how aggressive Cachoras have been and with how unusually passive the Bedwetters have been, it's a very big possibility that this game goes to Cachoras, as there's a demo right there, and that gives them possession of the ball for now, but Darklight just happens to have other ideas.
And, they did try to get a couple of demos there earlier, but they were just either not supersonic, not going fast enough, or just not getting the right touch. And that's going to be a dangerous maneuver for them, and that's the game. Bedwetters brings it back. We are now back to a tied game. Whoever wins this next series is moving on.
There it is, and there was a demo off screen, but that one didn't really matter. Overall, Bedwetters, they simply had the better team play and the better passes, and it led to them winning game 4, and we're on to game 5, Champions Field. This next game will decide who is going to the grand finals with a 1-game advantage. And honestly, this one, I said this about game 4, but I'm saying it about game 5 as well, could go either way. And we're gonna have a little bit of a server reset, so we'll have a little bit of some downtime to talk about these two teams overall. I want you to, I want to hear a up point for both of these teams. I'll go ahead and give one first. I think the Bedwetters have better passes, but I think Cachoras have the better demos. And honestly, I think game 5 could go either way. I think it's going to be up to which one of these teams can hit their wishing well a little bit better. Whether that is Bedwetters are just going outrageous on the passes or if Cachoras are just really fiddling away on the demos. I think the team that can pull off their tried and true strategy better will probably be the team to take game 5.
Yeah, I think it really just comes down to who, like you said, is gonna stick their strategies that we've seen. Tutori's really good on the pass plays, decent mechanics, decent positioning, decent saves, and then the hyper aggression from Tutoris is really what brings them out against Bedwetters. And if they can stay aggressive, block those passes, they've got just as much of a shot. So it really is going to depend on how this match starts. Are we going to see a bunch of volleys like we saw in the last entire game, or are we going to see somebody start off breaking that barrier, setting the game in motion, and then we'll actually see some goals this game?
Yeah, the last game was definitely not the highest scoring affair of these two teams, but we're going to hope for game 5 that we see a little bit more from both of these teams because a 0-0 overtime, it's great, but I mean, let's see some scoring. Let's see some demo plays. Let's see some great pass plays. Let's see some double flip reset musties into the top right corner, bar down style. Let's just see some more scores overall as game number 5 is underway. And for the winners final, we are going to Champions Field.
Glad we made it.
We're not on Champions Field, but you get the point.
Close enough.
Exactly.
We'll pretend it's Champions Field.
We're pretending it's Champions. Yet, you know what I mean. Darklight scores first, and the Bedwetters will take the lead early, and Cachoras will have to strike back.
Well, glad to see that we're starting off with some goals. Hopefully that means everybody's woken up, and we'll see them change it up from the volley tactics we've seen the last couple of games here. Carrying it across the zone net, Darklight, that is terrifying as always, especially with an enemy staring down your face like that. A bold choice. And never mind. I'm just going to be quiet now when Darklight's got the ball. Every time I say something, he does something with it.
Yeah, he is a pretty good player when he's got some space. And hey, top left corner shot, Bedwetters now in the lead by 2, and an early aggressive start for Bedwetters, but it's going to be met by Cachoras. Mazo, 1 shot and 1 goal. That's the second shot, actually. Where did he get the first shot? I don't remember. 2 shots, 1 goal.
Very interesting game. 3 goals in the first 40 seconds. And Bedwetters in the lead. Like that second goal didn't happen, which is very nice. So hopefully Cachoras can, or Darklight can score and put him right back 2 up.
2 up again. Cachoras strikes, and then Bedwetters gets right back on the goal train. And now they're up by 2, and they just got to keep this pace going. If these two teams go for goal, the Bedwetters will win. And honestly, this is a pretty solid place to be for the Bedwetters.
And let's not forget, Darklight is carrying them. He's already got 3 goals on the board first minute of the game.
That is very true. 3 goals in a minute. And it will not surprise me if we see some more because, I mean, we've seen what they can do with the ball in open space. And I mean, right there's a second save from Darklight, the only person on the field with a save. And the Bedwetters, you are absolutely right, getting a little bit carried by Darklight.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody does have to do it.
Nice demo. Give the ball back. Really good. Looks like they're getting back into these pass plays here, making the defense move, but Poncho was not going to fall for it. Little back pass here. He's going to get dusted by Mezo. Doesn't even bother jumping.
Yeah, sometimes you got to
There's a rip and a goal.
Take your losses and count them. You know you're not getting to that ball. So just let Mezo do whatever they want with it and try to go for the save. That time, it does not work out for the Bedwetters. There was some contact made, but it was at an awkward angle. So, Bedwetters, the lead has been chopped down to 1. And Cachoras trying to stay in this game. That's a really nice touch from Paco. If someone on their team was a little closer to that, that could have very well been a 3rd goal for Cachoras. But, alas, that's not how the cookie crumbles. There's Geoids with another save. And finally, Bedwetters have some room to breathe after Geoids gets this clear. And it's a 2-on-1. Mazo misses, but Paco's there. That could have been very, very bad for Cachoras.
On that last little volley there, if Mazo had recognized that all he needed was a little bump, they could have easily scored that. He could have knocked both those defenders out of there very easily. Unfortunate missed opportunity there, but if they can get another big clear here from Paco, they might be able to have another opportunity. Gio just going to send it away. Mazo back to mid once again. Really got to... I noticed a lot of the times they're just throwing it around the corner, trying to get it at center, and that is unfortunately the easiest way to block a pass play, is by putting it from that corner across the bottom of the net. They really got to change up that opportunity. They are not going to get very many shots on goal that way.
Yeah, this one's a pretty nice shot, though. Paco puts that one top right off of the quote-unquote save from the Bedwetters. Aegis trying to clear it away. Props to them for trying. But Paco is just too clean on it and reading the ball perfectly. 3-3 is the score. And once again, we have an even slate, and evener slate on the kickoff. But eventually, Cachoras do manage to take possession first, but it's not going to matter as Darklight continues to carry the team and gets another save. 6 saves for the man on the game. Mazo puts that one in. Cachoras go up, and Darklight's not there for that one. Cachoras have the lead for the first time in this game 5.
Darklight leaves the net, and of course, that's immediately when they get scored on. Unfortunately, they can't expect Darklight to carry all of the weight for Team Bedwetters here. They really need the other guys to step up, get some more saves, get some more shots on target, at least make Cachoras here move for the ball, and hopefully it's faster than them. You get them out of position, you could rip a couple of shots, but they're letting Cachoras get away with the hyper-aggression once again. It's cutting off their team plays, cutting off their defensive passes, and they're going to have to make yet another little tweak to their gameplay here if they want to get back into the lead and not get shut out of this tournament here.
They will. The waterfall's going to help out, but Darklight's a little bit too mistimed there. He wasn't too fast or too slow. Just needed to change it up a little bit. Now Aegis tries to send this one away. A great setup by Paco. And Geoids is forced to go under it. Darklight in a little 1v1. It's off the backboard. Aegis makes the save there. But Cachoras is still pounding the net of Bedwetters, making this game as difficult as possible. Geoids meets with the ball, but it does not want to go that way. The demo's starting to come out from Cachoras, and the Bedwetters are starting to fall back a little bit because Cachoras is bringing out the demos, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Great block there. Really needed to make that one happen. If he missed that touch, he was getting sent to the side. That was going to be a free ball for Cachoras, but unfortunately, they couldn't make anything happen. Cachoras comes back, takes the win, and that was an amazing final game.
I don't think it could. I don't think it could have gotten better. That was a huge, huge win for Cachoras, and they take the series, and they will take the high road into the grand final, the 1-game advantage. Meanwhile, Cachoras will head down to the lower bracket final, where they will face the winner of Flickzy's Biggest Fan and Melon Patch Gaming. But man, Doc, what a game.
That was a phenomenal last game of the series, especially after we had so many times where it was just back and forth volleys up and down the pitch. It was really nice to see a bunch of goals scored, a bunch of good plays, and better team won in this case. But Bedwetters really played their heart out, did really well, and look forward to seeing them again sometime.
Yeah, I got a feeling that they will be back in the grand finals as soon as we get our winner for Flickzy's Biggest Fan versus Melon Patch Gaming. Both of those teams are very, very good, but the Bedwetters are a absolute menace to deal with. So I think they're going to be back in the grand final in just a few moments. But when we return, we will be bringing you the action from the lower bracket final. And once again, that will be Bedwetters versus the winner of Flickzy's Biggest Fans or Flickzy's Biggest Fans and Melon Patch Gaming. So we'll see you in just a bit with that match. We'll be right back.
All right, we are back with the Frost Esport 3v3 Bedwetters versus Flickzy's fans in the finals here. Let's see what these guys have in store for us. Bedwetters coming in against Flickzy's in the losers final here. Bedwetters played a really solid series of games. Hopefully they can keep up that momentum and see what Flickzy's has in store for them today.
We will just have to see. And of course, the winner will go on to the grand finals where they will face Cachoras in a best of 7 series, but they will have a 1-game disadvantage. So the winner gets a shot at the grand finals, but they will have to do it down a game. And of course, if you do make it to the grand finals, it does give you an instant piece of the prize pool pie. So there is a lot on the line for just this best of 3. And like you said, Bedwetters, who we just saw, versus Flickzy's biggest fans, who have made quite a big run through the lower bracket final, taking down Aspire and Melon Patch Gaming to get here.
They have put up quite a fight down there in the losers bracket. Hoping to see a really good game here because we've seen Bedwetters in the past few games. They've got really good team chemistry, good placement, solid defense, especially from Dark Light. So really going to be interesting to see how Flickzy's handles that and what they've got in store for the Bedwetters in turn.
Yeah, we will just have to see. And of course, Flickzy's biggest fans, we have not seen on the stream just yet. So I'm excited to see what these 3 players have to bring to the table as I've know some of the players on them looking at the roster. We got Enzo and Gamma, who I have seen a ton in the bubble scene. They are amazing players. Mr. Horsey, though, or the Mr. Horsey, I should say, that is someone that I have not seen. So I'm hoping by the end of the series, I know who they are. But as of right now, I do not. So I'm hoping, or I have high hopes for them, and I'm hoping that they can show me everything they got.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they handle those team plays, especially because that was Bedwetter's biggest thing was those team plays. Unfortunately, like you said, we haven't haven't had a chance to see Flickzy's play yet, so I'm not as familiar with their play style and how they're going to attack. But very interesting to see how they go for those interceptions and cutting off those big pass plays.
Yeah, that is going to be the big part of trying to best the Bedwetters. You're going to have to deal with those passes because the passes will get you. Bedwetters is a very pass-oriented team, and if you let them make those connections that they also love to connect, then you are going to have a really rough time. You're going to have to play with some sense of aggression if you want to break down the passing play of Bedwetters, which is a lot easier said than done.
Well, Flickzy's does seem like they are starting out with the aggression, which is, like you said, exactly what they need to do to counteract these team-heavy plays.
And Gamma, though, looking to make something happen as we got a double commit on the Bedwetter side. Definitely not the start you want, but that ball will be cleared away, and that will give the Bedwetters some more time to relax. But that time is immediately sent back away as Gamma is there for a huge shot, but it is saved, and this time it's Aegis on a shot and Gamma on a save. We are going right back over towards the blue half, and Flickzy's fans making a statement early.
Absolute dunk coming off the ceiling to block that shot, too. Great way to make sure that they were turning around the rotation there and getting back on offense as quickly as possible versus getting back on defense when I don't think he had anybody back for that. So absolute clutch play there.
A very big play as here's a passing play coming out from Flickzy's biggest fans. And I said, or we said, that Bedwetters were going to be the team that connected on the passes, but Flickzy's biggest fans starting to make their mark with these passes.
Yep, and like exactly what you said, we talked a big game about Bedwetter's team plays there, and Flickzy's coming out and saying, no, it's going to be us with the team plays, and there is nothing they can do about it. So let's see if they can pull off another one or if that one was just a fluke. But they are on offense again. Horsey getting a block, and Enoch rather cannot hit that ball. And they are back. That was a little bit of a misplay from Gamma there.
A little awkward, but Bedwetters making a lot of double commit errors, which is something that is pretty unlike them. Usually they are very communicative, but this time they are not so well gelled, if you will, because they are usually a very team-oriented team, and they rarely make double commit mistakes, but I've seen quite a few of them from them tonight, and they're gonna have to change something. They're gonna have to keep those comms a little bit hotter, because right now they are down, and you do not want to lose the first game here, especially in a very short best of 3 like this one.
I agree. I think another thing that's going to help, and I was going to say, is them bringing out the demos like they had coming out against them in the last series. It would be a great way to help intercept this team, because much like the last set of series that we watched, the demo plays were what really broke up those team plays and really allowed the other team to come in and score goals. We've got Geodes out here getting a few demos, Bedwetters as well. So looks like they are going to take that page from them, and it has looked like it's been helping them a little bit, at least maintain possession and aggression in the opponent's half of the field. But nothing has really come with it yet. They really need to get something going here. That's been a whole game, and Geodes is going to come and knock that into the bottom of the net from up high. Not a problem. Tied game 137.
You said you wanted them to get something going, and they did just that. A little over 90 seconds to go, and the Bedwetters strike back, and they strike for the first time in game number 1. But let's see if they can strike next and possibly strike last, as they do not win the kickoff, but Geoids has a little bit of control, flicks it over the defense. Aegis looking for a touch, is going to fall down, and it's going to be hit in. Dark Light reads it off of the ceiling to perfection. Bedwetters up by 1 now, and we might just be going into game number 2 with a Bedwetters victory.
Glad to see they did wake up finally here. I feel like, especially watching the last series from them, it does take them a little bit to get a read on their opponent. They like to take their time, see what their opponent's going to throw out, and then kind of dictate how they're going to play the rest of the match to counteract them. And it's a strategy that works very, very well for them. I mean, as you can see, they're up 2-1. It's not a huge lead by any standards. It could be anyone's game still with a minute left, but they have at least solidified a solid position for them going into the rest of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. As we've reached the minute mark, and Geoids now playing a little bit of keep you away, but Horsey not letting that ball get away. Now, Gamma with a good setup, but Gamma just takes too long to read it. But now Bedwetters looking to send another one in, put the nail in the coffin for game number 1. But Flickzy's fans, they're staying in this game, and they're going to fight till the very end. Darklight, 1 versus 2, gets it over him. Aegis just has to tap this one down, but it's not the tap that they want. Geoid's perfect setup, and the nail is in the coffin. Game 1 will most certainly be going to Bedwetters, and they're up by 2 with only 18 seconds.
I've seen people come back from worse positions than this, but it is a high-pressure game. No telling whether or not they're going to be able to pull it off with a couple of kickoff goals.
It's going to have to find out right now as the kickoffs do not go their way. 10 seconds to go and counting, and the 2-goal lead is still in Bedwetters' favor, and this game will not go their way. Bedwetters take game number 1, and they are on match point to get back into the grand finals.
Like we said, Bedwetters really, really solid when it comes to the team plays, and that's exactly what they needed to focus on. During that last half of that matchup, they were able to beat the aggression that you saw from Flickzy's in the beginning of the game, and just like they did earlier, really connect with those team plays and just outpace their opponent.
Yeah, and once again, they got off to a pretty slow start, but in the end, they were able to figure out what works and what didn't work. And that is what makes the Bedwetters so good. They don't hit hard right off the bat, but once they figure out what works, it is all gas, no brake, and it usually leads to a Bedwetter win. And in this case, that holds true as we go into game number 2.
Yep. And I think going into this game, Flickzy is really going to have to start off strong with their goals. Otherwise, they are going to have a problem where Bedwetters is going to come in. They're going to start outpacing, getting those team plays once again. And we're going to be in the exact same situation that we were with the last series. So hopefully they can make an adjustment here. Maybe try to demo Bedwetters a little bit more, break them up, get those holes in the offense and the defense going, take that opportunity to counterattack, and come in with some what's going to be very important goals for Flickzy's here.
Yeah, teams started to join the lobby, so we are just about to get underway for game number 2, possibly the last game of the series. But like you said, we're going to hope that Flickzy's fans can change up their play style, go for the demos. It was working really well for Cachoras in the last series, and they were really exposing the weaknesses of the Bedwetters. And all the Flickzy's fans have to do is just re-expose them, and they will have a real shot at taking the series into game number 3.
That is one advantage, being able to watch the games beforehand, is you do get an idea for how the opponent's going to play. But these guys coming into these matches, a lot less likely to have any idea how the opponent played during their last set of series. Makes it a little bit more challenging to plan out your strategy, which is why you see Bedwetters take their time in the beginning of a series to learn their opponent's moves, how they're going to play, so they can come up and counter them, whether that's with their usual play style that we see here, or even going a little bit more demo heavy, like we saw in the beginning of the game. And they just end up outpacing their opponents just like that. Geoids is going to come in off the pass from Darklight and just slot it in past all 3 of the Flickzy's team.
Simple as that. Geoids turns the death timer on for Flickzy's biggest fans. And now they just got to hold on for 4 minutes. But that is way too long to hold on, because especially when Horsey can just do stuff like that. A great team play from Flickzy will set this one up. Horsey, of course, with the setup, but they're the one to get the final touch on it, and they will tie this up.
That is what we call bullying in the opponent's net.
Yeah, buddy. That is exactly what we call that. Great bully play from Horsey, and a great way to tie this game up at 1.
Now back to what might as well just be 0-0. Kind of cancel out that momentum from Bedwetters here. A little bit of team impacting team in play there from Bedwetters. Gotta watch that spacing a little bit more on that rotation.
How you do is Darklight. A little awkward position by the offense of Flickzy's fans, but right there was nothing awkward about that pass play. Aegis with a little bit of a solo play off the pass play, so Darklight
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, very, very nice to watch. Bedwetters regain the lead, and Flickzy's fans will be forced to play from the back foot yet again. An awkward flip from Geoids, but luckily for them, Darklight is there to take this ball, and Aegis going to take the handoff back away. And now Bedwetters is in control of the pace and the tempo once again. Darklight with an awkward touch. And now they got to go back towards the other way. Darklight redirect. Oh, the hitbox. We saw that ball jiggle a little bit, but hitbox does him dirty.
If you look at the scoreboard here too as well in the game, you can see Darklight once again just pairing his team with the saves. He's got both assists for his team right now. He doesn't have any goals to speak of this game so far, but he's on top for points. He's got all those saves. Just really doing everything he can to make sure his team holds the advantage as much as possible.
Yeah, and that is a team player right there. 2 assists, 3 saves, but so far 0 shots. So that brings me to my second point. Flickzy's fans, they have 5 shots right now, and the Bedwetters only have 2. But we're seeing a very similar occurrence to what happened in the last series. The Bedwetters They had more shots, but the quality was not good. They were too quantity over quality, and that's exactly what's happening for Flickzy's fans right here.
You can't win Rocket League, especially at any level near this, with quantity over quality. It's got to be quality of shots. Maybe in lower ranks you can get away with just throwing the ball at the net and praying for it to stick, but you've got to be a lot more calculated when it comes to teams like this. Otherwise, it's going to slip right by you, just like that from Eno. Straight past Geoids and right into their net. 2-2 with 2 minutes left.
And a huge way to tie this game up. 2 minutes to go. And the orange team, Flickzy's biggest fans, doing everything in their power to hold on for dear life and try to save this series. But it's not going to be easy because they need to score again. And the defense of the Bedwetters is very strong. They've let in a couple of goals, but it is not going to be easy to break them down again.
A little bit of volleying going on here once again, but unlike those last series, I don't think we're going to run into that as much here. These guys are doing a much better job of changing up the play on the fly, going for different touches, and getting just some weird touches sometimes. A nice little triple tap off the wall, able to carry it for a shot into the top half of or over the crossbar of the opponent's net. And now they're going to carry it back over towards Flickzy's side and shut up another team play, but it just could not hit it. And looks like it's going back once again.
Attempted cuxer was not ideal. This one's going to be redirected on target, but that one gets saved away. Now, Flickzy's biggest fans on the front foot. They're starting to make these redirect plays, which is very, very dangerous. High risk, high reward. But which one will it be? Will the risk outweigh the award? It looks like it won't, because Flickzy's biggest fans take the lead with only 29 seconds left in Game 3. Might just be around the corner.
That was an aggressive fake. Just absolutely destroyed the rest of the Bedwetters defense.
Yeah, it is so good. And all they have to do is hold on for 20 more seconds, something that they have done before they can do it again. They might look for another, but this one's a little high. The bump play, Geoids. All they got to do is walk it down. They beat the last man, but it's not going to matter because there's one more up their sleeve. Flickzy's biggest fans take this series into game number 3, and it is all or nothing for these two Titans.
No, I can't even blame Bedwetters for being pushed up and aggressive on there. When you're down 1, you've got a little bit of time left, and if you win, you're taking the series. But if you lose, you've got to fight again. I totally understand why they would play that as aggressive as they did. Worst case, they're going to get another goal, and you're still going to end up having to play another game. But on the off chance that they were able to make a beat there or get a really nice pass play, they could have absolutely shut that down at the last second and had a better opportunity.
They could have, but I think right now, all we got to focus on is game number 3. The pass is behind us. A great game from Flickzy's fans right there. And the Bedwetters, they just could not keep up. And now they got one more shot to try to save the series and save this tournament. They have to win it. Game number 3, Bedwetters versus Flickzy's in the lower bracket finals.
And I do think this is pretty much anyone's game. They both have... That's a great way to start it off. Quick little pass play and a nice goal over the defense. Beautiful move from Flickzy's to put it 1-0 in the first 7 seconds of the final match.
And that is a really nice way to start off for the orange team. Now Bedwetters, the death timer's ticking for them. And they've got to strike back. Good way to start, forcing the Flickzy's fans D to make some adjustments. Right here, they're starting to open up the offensive side of the field, as there's Aegis with a great pass, and Darklight puts a shot on. But Horsey reads it very well, and Eno has to try to clear this one, but it's going to be Horsey to carry it over all the way. Now, Geoids taking this over back towards the center. Darklight with a great pass. Aegis gets the worst of that ball, actually, and sends that one over towards the outside of the field. Definitely not where you want it. One more shot's on, but Gamma should have an easy clear right over here, and that they will.
Ooh. That was a nice recovery into that pass play there. He looked like he wasn't going to be able to be a part of that play anymore, honestly. They had a really solid recovery, kept up his momentum, and was able to give a nice little shot. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it directly on target, and it was an easy stop for Bedwetters.
Yeah, very, very easy stop. And there's another clear around the net. Those are so dangerous, but they are very, very risky. And there's another setup, but this time the Bedwetters managed to hold off, and this is a very good spot to be in if you are on the side of Flickzy's fans. You just got to keep this ball in the blue half for 3 minutes, and you are completely done and through. But the problem is clears like that are very prone to accidents. And the Bedwetters
accidents
take over
just getting turned around
like that. Exactly. That's the problem.
You might have that ball perfect, you might have the read, you might know exactly what it's going, but if the other opponent knows what's happening, you might get beat to that ball, and well, you just handed them a free one. That was a dangerous clear. Eno made sure to come back and back up his teammate and clear that, thankfully, or that probably would have been a goal for Bedwetters. Good job keeping this team in there. Bedwetters really's got to step up the aggression here. They are just kind of getting beat around the ball quite a bit, except for right there. Unfortunately, nobody's there for Bedwetters to clean it up. And that's going to be an easy clear. And just Geoids back to hold the ball. They really got to turn this around in the next 2 minutes here. They are losing not only possession, but also pressure and momentum in this game.
And a double demo from Eno will just make this game look so much better for Flickzy's fans, as now the Bedwetters down by 1 still. Geoids makes the save, and with that, Flickzy's fans is back on the attack, and Bedwetters have to get something going. They have not seen the other side of the field for a while now, and they're gonna have to get the taste back in their mouths if they want a chance to win this game and stay in this tournament, because right now it is all Flickzy. Despite the low amount of shots, it just seems like they have been everywhere on the blue side of the field. Only 4 shots to count for it, though. Make that 5 after Aegis saves that one away. Waterfall. That one goes in. Eno extends the lead to 2. And I think the end is nigh for the Bedwetters.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just can't seem to keep up with both the team plays and the hyper-aggression. It's like Flickzy's took a page out of that last series that we watched and combined both the team's prime strategies, and it's dusting them right now. That was a much better kickoff for Bedwetters, but unfortunately it's still not going to go their way. And they just couldn't quite get the shot on target in front of the defense. So they've only got a minute left. They're going to have to score 2 goals. We've seen them do it before. We could see them do it again, but they really need to step it up, or that's going to be all she wrote for this team today.
Really will be. Aegis has to put this one on, but that one, once again, it stays away. Darklight looking for a shot. It's a little high, but the touch is awkward. Aegis sneaks it in. Bedwetters staying alive for now. 39 seconds to go, and they're only down by 1.
If ever you needed an opponent to miss a ball, it was right then and there. Bedwetters able to come in way specifically and clean that up, give his team a fighting chance in the next 40 seconds to hopefully tie this up, take this into overtime at least, if not score another goal, and just take the win right out from under them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do something. This time Darklight has an opportunity, but the touch is not what you need. Geoids puts another one on. Eno makes that save, and now we're going back the other way. This is a perfect place for Flickzy, but the flick is not good enough. Aegis, 1 man to beat. He's beat. It's in. We have a tie ball game. 7 seconds to go, and overtime might just be a possibility.
And with 7 seconds left, I think we're going to overtime 100%. I would be very surprised unless somebody gets kickoff goal right here, a quick off-the-cuff play. Let's see what happens. 7 seconds, 5 to go.
It's going to be very awkward. Darklight makes a great touch. This one
stays
in.
What a save. It's still up.
Keeps this game alive and keeps us in regulation. 0 seconds to go. The ball still online. Eno puts this one over center, but it does get spiked down. And we are going into overtime. Game number 3. Everything on the line here. The whole tournament all comes down to here. If you lose, you're out. You win, you have a date with the grand finals. Horsey puts one on. Darklight makes the save. And now we're in the corner. Bedwetters have some room to breathe. And with that clear, they are looking safe.
It was an absolutely phenomenal last 30 seconds of regulation that we had. And so far, looks like they're all just kind of trying to get back into where they were before that little kickoff break we had going into overtime. A lot of pressure from both teams, a lot of great shots, and what a shot from Gamma coming in, just absolutely plowing it into the net, away from the clear, and taking the game 3-2, 40 seconds in.
40 seconds into overtime. Flickzy's biggest fans hang on, and they have a date with Destiny, but Destiny's name is Cachoras. What a series, what a game. And just like that, Flickzy's biggest fans are in the grand finals, and they look to take the series after making their way through the lower bracket. They finally have made it to the grand finals. They have secured at least a little bit of the prize pool, as well as the chance to take the whole tournament. But Cachoras are not going to be an easy opponent.
They are most assuredly not. They're a very aggressive team, very demo heavy when they need to be. And seeing what we saw in that last series, I can tell you that I think that Flickzy's they have better team plays than I think Cachoras did, but Cachoras is still better at keeping that aggression. So if Flickzy's can step it up and keep pace with that aggression, they have a good chance doing really, really well. But just got to see it's going to be a completely different match for them than what they just played.
Yeah, it is going to be a big change of pace for them. But with that, the Bedwetters do have to go home after dropping down from the winners final into the lower bracket final, and then they fall 2-1 in the losers final. And Flickzy's biggest fans punch their ticket into the grand finals. And with that, we will be taking a little bit of a break. When we return, grand finals, Cachoras versus Flickzy's biggest fans. You do not want to miss what we have in store for you in just a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, after a few hours of high level Rocket League gameplay, we are down to the last two teams, Cachoras and Flickzy's biggest fans. Cachoras making their way all the way through the upper bracket, chugging along through everyone to make their way into the grand finals. Meanwhile, Flickzy's biggest fan dropping down to the Bedwetters in the semifinal and then making their run into the lower bracket finals where they got their revenge over the Bedwetters. They are now here, and these two teams are about to meet. I am Star Coin Hero. That over there is my good friend Doc Roz, and we are about to bring you the action of the grand finals. Doc, what are we feeling about this match?
Man, I'll tell you what. Watching those past two set words are hard
Yeah.
series that we watched. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. Previously, we saw Cachoras versus Bedwetters, and Cachoras is a very aggressive play style. They're good at shutting down team plays and just being in your face. And then Bedwetters had a really good passing play and really good at being able to connect with each other downfield and get the other team baited out and scoring a goal. With Flicksy's, we saw that they kind of have a great combination of both of those capabilities. So I think it's going to be a totally different series for Cachoras here. They are going to they really only going to have a couple of options against Flicksy's, and I think that's going to be to either play more aggressive than they already were, which I find probably might be a little difficult, or they're going to have to slow things down a little bit and try to outmaneuver and out mind game Flixies. But if they take in a straight on head to head contest of just trying to be more aggressive, I think Flixie's ability to come out with those team plays is going to push them just a little bit ahead of Kachoris unless they can find the counter for that.
Yeah, I think this game is going to come down to how well these teams fare against their opponent's preferred playstyle. Because, like you said, Cachoras, they are a very aggressive team and they like to go for the demos. Meanwhile, Flixie's fans are a bit more of a passive team and they like to get their goals in a more passing matter, in a more team based matter, instead of Cachoras going for the demo on that third man and having an easy open net. They like to slot their shots into the corners of the goal. So honestly, this game could go either way. You do have to keep in mind that Cachoras does have a one game advantage as they did go through the upper bracket. So they will start this series off with the upper hand. So just a little bit bigger of a hill that Flixie's biggest fans have to fight on.
It is a bigger hill for them to climb for sure, and it's got to be nice for Kachoris knowing they come into this. It's been a little bit since they've played, so they've had some time to cool off. Hopefully, they've been sitting in training at the very least and keeping their mechs warm. They haven't let that slide, and hopefully, they've had a little bit of a conversation about what they see going into that. Maybe they've even had the opportunity to watch that last series while they were on break, see what they have coming for them for Flixies. And who knows, Flixies might even start off changing the game entirely, come out with an entirely different play style just to kind of throw things up, shake them off. There's a lot of ways that this could play out starting out. It really just kind of depends on how prepared they are for each other.
Yeah, I completely agree. This game could go either way, and I think it's going to come down to the way that these two teams play with each other and which one can counter their opponent's strategy, like I said a little bit earlier. But which team will that be? I'm not sure. My gut is telling me to go for Cachoras because they have made their way all the way through the upper bracket and they have defeated some pretty solid teams along the way. But something also is telling me that Flixie's biggest fans have it in them because, I mean, they did take down Bedwetters and Cachoras almost lost to the Bedwetters in game 5 of the winners final. So honestly, I'm a little torn on who to pick.
Honestly, I agree with you. I kind of want Kachoris to win because we've seen them put in the work. But that's not to say Flixies has not also put in the work coming back from the losers bracket, taking out Bedwetters, like you said, that only just barely lost to Kachoris. So, it really could go either way. Although I would love to see, as I'm sure other people would, see Flicksy's overcome that one game deficit and take this into game 7 at the very or something along those lines, and just at least really give Cachoras a run for their money, even though Cachoras does start out with that disadvantage.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really good series, and it's going to, I think, go to at least game 6. I don't think these teams are going to settle this in 4 or 5. I think we are going to a game 6 or a game 7, but I could be wrong. It could be a 4-0 sweep in favor of Cachoras, or Flickzy's could get the sweep in their way, going 4 in a row and taking it 4-1 due to the one game advantage. But we are actually ready to go for the grand finals. The players are starting to join their teams, and here we go. Grand finals: Cachoras versus Flickzy's biggest fans. Doc, kick us off.
Go. Fletcher's going to come in, win the kickoff, and try to go for a solo play right off the top. Isn't going to be able to pull it off, so the ball's going back towards their half. Paco looked like he was trying to set something up, really couldn't. Poncho's going to try to set him up out of the way. Mazzo's going to go ahead with a stall, try to stall it up on the backboard. Could not get away with it, gets cleared away, but it is still in Flixer's half. So they're going to have to get this out of here.
But they
or get scored on by Paco immediately.
Yeah, that is definitely an unpreferred answer to the question of we need to get this ball out of here. It's technically out of here, but it's out. It's
Not out of the
there.
way they wanted.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. That ball goes into the orange net, and Cachoras take the lead first in game number 1, game 2 with the advantage. So a great start for them. Paco actually looking to put on a second. Mazzo now taking this over to the center. Only one man to beat. But Horsey bringing out the demo first. And that's going to give Flickzy's fans a little bit of room to work with. The double tap is almost good. Actually, it is good. And this one is going to go in. Wasn't necessarily a double tap, but Mazzo with a great touch and a great goal.
You know, I mentioned earlier that hopefully Cachoras was sitting in training or something, at least keeping those mechs warm. And they sure showed me right off the rip. First minute of the game, not even over yet. They're already up 2 goals and have just been out pacing Flickzy's biggest fans with ease.
Yeah, and that is exactly what you need to do, is start things off great in your side. As this one's almost on, but that one is to the side, and it is hit away. Mazzo is going to wait for the ball to come to them so they can have a little bit of an easier start. Ground pitch? Ooh, it's messed up, though. Gamma almost getting a huge demo. Paco solo play, and it is in. 3-0 for the blue team. Cachoras is on a roll.
And I'll tell you, this is not how Flickzy wanted to start this match. They look like they are struggling to figure out their defensive strategy here. They're hesitating, and they are just leaving giant holes. And Cachoras says, absolutely not. We see those holes in your defense, and we are going to take them every single time.
You find a hole, just keep ripping at it until it gets bigger and bigger, and eventually it'll be big enough to score on. That's exactly what Cachoras are doing. And here's Mazzo looking to set up a team play, and here we see the aggression. That wasn't a demo, but it was a bump play to get that defender off the ball, and it gave their teammate a really nice shot on the net. Unfortunately, it did not go their way, but still, it opens up a lot of possibilities for your offense. As this one, nice touch from Paco to take it under the defender instead of trying to win that fight. There's no need to win the fight when the fight is unnecessary, but I would think Flickzy's fans would disagree. The fight is definitely necessary as a result of that demo.
They're going to need to bring out the bumping plays here against Cachoras or something else here. Because, I mean, what we have seen them kind of stall this out here in the middle half of the game, it's still not really looking super great for them. They did get a decent shot there, but it was a weak touch. It was easily pushed aside. If he had hit that a little bit harder, they wouldn't have had time to react. So they just need to focus on getting good touches and just keeping up with some of that aggression, just like that.
And the 3-0 lead strikes again. Your team gives up 3, and then all of a sudden, your opponent scores, and now the deficit is only 2. And Flickzy's fans, they have the momentum. They know what they need to do to score. And they just need to do it 2 more times to tie this up. And with 2 minutes to do so, it is looking very possible, especially if you get one right off the rip.
That was yet another textbook example of bullying. Bump play, demo on the guy that had even the smallest chance of stopping that, and just carry it into the net, no problem.
No problems at all. Everything went to plan. And now, Cachoras only up by 1 after having such a great start. Gamma looking to chop this lead to 0. But this one does not want to go in just yet. Cachoras taking this one over towards the orange side yet again. Mazo, bad touch. That's going to be off the ceiling. And Mazo getting a very important touch. It's just Horsey to save that ball. And that is a rotation error if I've ever seen one for Flickzy's fans. And I think the third man committed a little too early there.
Yeah, I pushed up a little bit too far. Didn't have anybody else coming back on rotation. And unfortunately, a situation like that, sometimes you do have to make a call. If you know you could block the shot, then it often ends up being the better play for your team. But if you miss, your team's more than likely not going to be back, as we saw right there. He had to try to turn around and save it himself, and was no way he was beating that ball.
Yeah, an unfortunate situation on the side of Flickzy's fans, but hopefully they will be able to get this one back with about 70 seconds to play here. And Cachora's not making it easy for them. They're keeping the pressure on. They are striking hard, and they're striking fast. As right here, they just got to keep 2 goals out of their net, or keep 2 balls out of their net for another 50 seconds, and it looks like they might just do that. The demo from Eno, though, will force Cachoras to forfeit possession. Oh, what a shot. That had so much potential, but it's just a little off. That one's high. That one's off the bar again. This one's off the post. 30 seconds to go, and Horsey does get beat to that ball. Good Cachoras hang on by about 6 inches.
Highway robbery from the post twice in a row there. That is not what you like to see for these guys. They were great shots, great opportunities. Could have at least changed the momentum of the game here, and just unfortunately just crossbar, post, back and forth.
And this one looks like it will be over with 1 second to go. Down by 2. This one is officially over. The ball will touch the ground, and Cachoras will take game number 2. They go up 2-0 in the series, and a great start for the boys in blue.
Very good way to start it off. Now they have 2-game advantage over Flickzy's here, so they've really set the tone. They've set the pace. Flickzy's has a mountain of a hurdle to overcome if they want any chance at taking this series back.
Oh, definitely. They have such a huge advantage now, the Cachoras do. And Flickzy's biggest fans have a huge hurdle to jump over. It is not going to be easy. It's doable, but it is going to be very, very difficult because the Cachoras are a very, very good team, and they are going to punish you on every mistake that you make. So Flickzy's fans have to be perfect in these next couple of games.
They are going to really have to make sure they do not let Cachoras run away with that aggression and even some of those solid team plays that we saw in that series, or they do not stand a chance in the rest of this.
They do not. Cachoras looks like they're going to keep on the gas as much as possible, as that is the way that Cachoras play. They don't know what the brake pedal is. As here we go, the kickoff is underway for game number 3. And now Cachoras, with a 2-game advantage, are looking really nice, and they're sitting pretty.
It's going to make a big difference whoever scores this first goal. It's going to be huge for Flickzy's. If they can come out and they can score the first goal, set the pace of the game, they have a decent shot of being able to maintain that pressure and getting themselves back at least another game in the series and bringing that lead down by 1. instead of being down the deficit of 2 that they are currently. And I think they can do it. It's just a matter of whether they think they can and whether they manage to pull it off.
And there's Poncho gets beat on it, and now Mazo's in a 1 versus 1. But that is a huge touch to clear that away. Was not a save, but it might as well have been one, because if that touch was not got, then that was definitely going in that blue net. But right now, both of these teams are showing some great looks, but Flickzy's is a little bit better. Gamma scores first off of a cheeky little solo play.
A nice little reset to drop that ball right in the bottom left corner. Perfect placement, exactly what they needed to do to set the pace of the game. Now, they need to not only maintain that, they need to capitalize on that momentum, and they need to get another one in the net as fast as possible.
They do. They cannot let this lead muster. Oh, what a shot! But
just there.
The goal post. Thankfully, Gamma was behind him, and Flickzy's fans will go up too. But man, that could have been terrible for the mental of the orange team.
Horsey is mad about that one. Thankfully, Gamma came in on cleanup crew and took care of business for him, but that has to hurt for Horsey missing that shot. That would have been beautiful.
Oh yeah, it absolutely has to. But thankfully, Rocket League is a team game. You got to keep that in mind. You miss some shots, but if your teammate is there to make those shots, then whoa! What was that?
I thought we were seeing an own goal from Gamma. That was insane.
That was an insane save. Horsey trying for the 3rd goal of this match, but that one goes away. What a save from Gamma. I want to just reiterate, that was absolutely insane, but it keeps Cachoras off of the board for a little bit longer. And now Cachoras, though, looking a little better. They're starting to get make their way onto the Flickzy's side of the field, and the demos started to come out. This is exactly what Cachoras need right now. Flip reset. Oh, it's hit away. The freestyle play does not land on its intended target, and Flickzy's biggest fans will have their fair share at the net once again. Let's see if they can score a 3rd.
Also, just following that ball from the ceiling, casually knocking it away, not a problem at all, but he's going to need to do something with it and not just keep passing it back to in front of their net. That waterfall is incredibly dangerous. Poncho's going to clear it back. Horsey catches, goes for a double, gets blocked by Paco.
It's looking pretty good for Flickzy's fans right here. So far, Cachoras, only one player is in the double-digit score. Or in the triple-digit score, excuse me. And Flickzy's fans, they just got to keep on oppressing Cachoras. They're not getting the demos that they need to. They've had a couple, but they have not had the effect that they need to win this game. So something has to change soon, and something has to give on the Flickzy team if Cachoras want a chance at winning this game. Because for the last minute, this ball has spent about 99% of its time on the blue half, and Cachoras have to clear it out. That is a great way to start, but Mazo gets met at the ball. Poncho tries for the reset, but Gamma makes the save there. Keeps Cachoras scoreless. Another attempt from the blue team is saved away, and now we're going right back towards the blue net.
Now, I know we said earlier that it's quality of shots over quantity of shots, but at this point, you've only got 3 shots for an entire match and no goals. You really need to start getting some more balls at the net. And we saw a couple of good ones there when they last returned to the orange side of the pitch, but it's not doing them any favors, and they just keep getting the ball cleared back to their net. They've really got to figure something out here in the next very few seconds, or they're going to get left behind on this one, and they're going to give up part of their really nice, solid advantage.
Yeah, because right now, they have been completely swarmed, and they have been drowned in this game number 3. 30 seconds to go. A 2-goal deficit is required for the comeback. Cachoras, they just keep getting shut down. The bump play is missed, and this gives Poncho a little bit of a chance, but there's no boost for them to work with. And now it's all on Paco to make this touch, but that touch eludes them. And Mazo looking for one last shot, but it is hit away, and that will be the game.
Is unfortunately all she wrote for this one. Nothing they do is going to get them back in this match. On a bright note, they did start the series with the game advantage. So even though they're taking this loss here, they are still going to be up 1 in the series overall. Now, if Flickzy can maintain this momentum going into this next game, they have a very solid chance of tying it up. And Cachoras is going to be on thin ice if they manage to pull this next game.
Yeah, that they are. Flickzy's fans played so much better. They need more of that. And Cachoras, something's changed, and they need to either change it back or change it again. Because right now, Cachoras was just not striking like they used to. Only 3 shots was put on board for the entirety of the game. 1 by Mazo, 2 by Poncho, 0 by Paco. And here's another thing, 0 saves either. So Flickzy's fans just had complete control over the entirety of the game because they had a save. They had 4 shots total. And of course, they had the 2 goals that won the game. So Cachoras is going to have to take up a little bit more space, and they're going to have to make themselves an influence on the game. They cannot sit back like they did in this last game.
Yeah, and it's really weird seeing them sit back as much as they did. They're usually the ones that are being hyper aggressive, but they just couldn't get the momentum to pull out in front of the other team and do anything that mattered, unfortunately.
It was an unfortunate game for Cachoras when it's all said and done, but they still have a game of buffer room. That is the glory of the 1 game advantage. They win 1 and they drop 1. They're still in the lead, and they only need 1 more game to take us to tournament point. But Flickzy's fans might have some other ideas in mind.
I think, judging by what we saw in the last game, they certainly do have other things in mind. The question is, can Cachoras recover mentally from the beating they took last game, and can they step it up like we saw in that first series? That's going to be the biggest break here for them.
Absolutely will be. Is a great win from Eno to put this one over towards center. Still dangerous. Cachoras have to clear this one away, but they do. But does not stay clear for long because Eno keeping this ball in the blue half makes their job as hard as possible and makes the Cachoras look even worse than they are. Oh! Wow. Makes them look a lot worse than they are looking already because they're not looking good. And if the ball just stays in their half, they look a lot worse, and that is just not good. Something is very wrong with this team.
I do want to talk about that pre-flip stop earlier. That was insanity. That was a great goal right here from Eno to take the advantage in this, but that pre-flip save on the goal line earlier was phenomenal.
And it was, but that does not matter anymore as it's a 1-0 game for Flickzy's fans. And Cachoras are really starting to miss fire. Flickzy's biggest fans are just completely running away. There's the demo. Mazo gets taken out. It's going to set up for a shot on Eno, but Poncho makes the save. And now Cachoras, as soon as they have a little glimmer of hope, it is taken away, and Poncho with a huge whiff, and Eno with a great setup. Mazo has to take it slow to make that save, and Cachoras just getting the simple whiffs, and they're not getting these clears. Cachoras is simply getting outplayed in every aspect, in every meaning of the word. But Cachoras take the word and send it on away because the demo play started to come out, and Mazo should get a little bit of credit for that goal.
Very much so. I was actually just about to say that that Cachoras really needs to step it up and get back to those demo plays that we saw from them earlier today. It's their #1 way that they've been able to break up the team plays from their opponent, and we haven't really, I don't feel like we didn't really see much of that in the last couple of games there. And the second they start doing it, what happens? They score a goal.
For another one here as the pass is read to perfection on the side of Cachoras. But still, Flickzy's fans are holding on for dear life. They're making the saves they have to. Right there's a big one. Horsey sends that one away. And infield pass back, trying to keep themselves in the lead, but Cachoras starting to look a lot better.
Much better than they were looking at, especially not only in the last half of this game here, but in that entire last game that we had before. And unfortunately, that is not going to pan out well for Cachoras, or it's just going to bang it across the pitch straight into their net on the defensive play. Just clear it right across. Nothing anybody on Cachoras could do about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only thing that would have saved that was a third man being back, but sometimes things get a little bit unruly. And this time, Flickzy's fans take advantage of it. But still, there's a lot of time left in this game for Cachoras to make their comeback. They're only down by 1. This one is a huge shot, but it's high. And the backboard strikes yet again. This time, it's the goalposts as well as Gamma getting just enough on that ball to make that save. Inno putting another one on board, but he's actually going to fake it. And Horsey will take the shot and the goal.
It truly feels like Cachoras is just getting mind gamed here at this point. There doesn't seem to be much they can figure out to do to counter these guys. 1 minute it's pass plays, next minute it's a solo play, and then the next they're just blowing your whole team up and just throwing it in the empty net.
Hey, you just got to be careful with those, and that one was one they were simply not careful. Great play by Flickzy's fans and Cachoras, not playing as passive as they need to. And right now they have another solid opportunity to possibly get something going, but Cachoras once again losing possession, and Flickzy's fans striking on the ball, sending it back over to the blue half. Inno is banned with another great opportunity. Gamma, another good opportunity. The whiff on the back line is just not what you need right now. Cachoras is making a lot of mistakes, and you can see it in their gameplay. They are not playing the same that they played 30 to 45 minutes ago.
Not at all. Cachoras is consistently getting beat to the ball. They're not fast enough to block the touches. Step for there. Beautiful read from Poncho with the ball coming back across the opponent's crossbar and just flipping it down over the defender.
Yeah, great play from Cachoras, but they will need another because Flickzy's fans are not looking like they want to give up that easy. They did concede that one goal, but Flickzy's fans are not a team that gives up easily. Right now, weird touch to get that one over to the side, but it works out in their favor. Inno, you can't let that happen. Cachoras let in a solo play goal, and it's the simple take it inside and flick it play. It's the solo play that makes that one in. And Flickzy's fans double up on their lead. They're up by 2 now. And we actually have not gotten about the Twitch predictions yet. 72% in favor of Flickzy's biggest fans. And right now, that is a huge possibility.
It's certainly looking that way. It's they've been putting on a clinic, shutting down everything that they can come up with. Every time I say that, they score. They're doing it again. 10 seconds in, only down by 1. They could certainly pull away with a kickoff. I was able to drag them back in within 1 and keep them alive. Now it's a question of can they capitalize in the next 10 seconds, tie this game up, and not throw their series advantage.
Yep, we're just going to have to see. As 5 seconds ago, it's getting on the blue half first, and it's just got to touch the ground. The double commit, definitely not what you want. No, looking for one more, maybe? No, that one's not going to go. That one touches the ground. Flickzy's fans take their second game, and now we have a Game 6 guaranteed. And just like that, the one-game advantage is completely erased, and all that Flickzy's fans have to do is just keep on winning, which they have done great so far.
No, they've done a fantastic job. They've been absolutely shutting everything down that Cachoras could throw at them. It's very impressive to see. And honestly, it still feels like they're playing a different game than that last series.
Yeah, we just got kicked out of the lobby, so we're going to be a couple of seconds to, of course, get back in the lobby and we can continue this matchup. But the score is 2-2. We're going into game 5, and honestly, at this point, I am going to go away with my gut instincts. I think Flickzy's biggest fans are going to take this tournament because right now, we basically have a clean slate best of 3 on our hands. So honestly, Flickzy's biggest fans, it seems like some of their best work is in the best of 3s. So I think they have a real shot at taking this. But the question seems to be, will we be done in 6 or are we going to a game 7?
You know, I kind of want to see that game 7 after all this.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well. We've already gone all the way to game 5, and game 6 is going to happen because the score is 2-2. So we might as well have it all go to game 7 and we go to Champions Field. But that might happen. It might not happen. Who knows? Cachoras could fix their game plan and get things going, or Flickzy's fans could just keep on the pain train and end the series in 2 more games. We're just going to have to find out. But Cachoras starts off early with a goal, and that was exactly how the Cachoras needed to strike back.
Beautiful of him to get there as fast as he did, beat all 3 of the opponents into the net. Perfect placement, set the tone for the game, much like he needed to, and put Team Flickzy's here in their place, finally. And another one for the road, are not quite able to make it. They're turning around back towards Mazo, who's going to get blocked by Eno. Gamma up, can't do anything with it, throws it to the side. Mazo's got the ball again, maybe setting up for another solo play. Nope, can't get away with it. And it's going to just stay bouncing around in front of the orange net, finally cleared by Horsey to Gamma.
Gamma flicks it over, but Mazo takes this one up and away. But now Horsey keeping this ball on the blue half, making the life of Cachoras as hard as possible. And with that banger of a shot, we are all tied up. And right there, that was just a really good play by Gamma, and it's going to count as an own goal, too.
Unfortunate, Paco couldn't quite get the touch that he wanted to save it. Ends up slotting it in his own net, but wasn't really a whole lot he could do. He did try his best to keep his team up there, but it's not over. It's still a tie game. A lot of Rocket League left to play here in this game.
There is quite a bit left, and it is just tied. Eno with a great play to get this ball to the side, almost set up for a shot, but Gamma sets it up. Mazo gets in the way. Pancho looking to take this one off the wall. He will do it, and he gets it past one. Horsey has to make a 50-50 save, and Mazo has another shot put on target, but so does Gamma with their saves. And that one's a little high. Horsey has to make a great save, but this one goes once again, and Flickzy's fans starting to get a little aggressive as we're nearing the nitty-gritty of this game number 5.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's a solid game. We are tied up again, so it's pretty much a clean slate. It's anybody's move as to who's going to take the advantage next. But Flickzy's really needs to take advantage of it if they want to hold their momentum in this series overall. Cachoras really needs to shut Flickzy's down, because Flickzy's has just been running away with this series. They haven't been able to do anything to stop them.
They really have not, as now Horsey passes over Pancho, makes a great save, and some green grass is ahead of them, but there is one orange car in the way to make that save. Halfway point has been reached, and right now, this has been probably the most even game so far. Horsey, oh, what a great play, but Mazo reads it just a little bit better. And now Cachoras have another opportunity at offense, or maybe they don't. Gamma! Oh, that was really close. That could have been the goal that Flickzy's needed to take the lead and, of course, possibly take game number 5.
It's a great demo, just unfortunately nobody's there to capitalize it. You've got 2 of your own team in the same position, going the same direction the opponent's half. It makes it really hard for your third man to commit to scoring what could have otherwise been a very easy shot. Really got to watch those rotations, especially on offensive plays, because if you're just trying to turn around, hit the same shot that your teammate is, now your third man can't go, and that either leaves a big hole for you on defense, or you just miss out on what should have been an easy game advantage.
Yeah, it's very awkward. There's a very fine line between over-aggression and under-aggression, and you just have to find a way to ride that line. So far, Flickzy's fans have been riding it perfectly all night long, and they take the lead again. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock, and I think we might have our answer to who is taking game number 5.
We very well might. I mean, Cachoras was doing really well earlier, but they've had just a few missteps that have been really important. They seem to be clumping up a little bit too much. They're not cutting off those pass plays, and they're not getting as many demos as they need to. They got one there, but they couldn't do anything with it. They did a much, much better job of capitalizing on those demos, or rather getting demos that were able to be capitalized on. But it seems right now they're just playing a lot of throwaway. They're not getting possession touches, and even there on rotation, you see them blocking their own teammate from clearing the ball. Now it's all the way in front of their net, and they're having to fight off Flickzy's to keep it from going in their net once again.
Yeah, overall,
That was a much better demo.
Finally gets in. That was such a tight angle. But amazingly, it goes in. It's almost saved away by Eno. But Mazo just gets that last touch. It is so crucial. And we are all tied up. But as you were talking about, Cachoras, they're making some really common mistakes. I'm seeing them go for some demos. But the problem is they're not getting the meaningful demos. They just see a player and they see an opposing car and they just decide to hit it. They've got to get the demos that matter. Set up a pass play and demo on the third man. Not just demo someone for the heck of it. They've got to demo meaningfully. As Horsey looking for the pass over, but this one goes away, and now we're in the corner. 10 seconds.
Only a couple of seconds left. Ball is up in the air. They've got an opportunity to score here, but Gamma's just going to drop it because he cannot get the touch he needed around the bottom of that ball. So we are in overtime, tied 2-2. Can Cachoras keep their... or rather regain their advantage, or nope, absolutely not. Flickzy's Gamma specifically says, no, I'm going to just take this ball, it's going in your net, and there is nothing you can do about it. We will see you, Cachoras. Moving on.
We will see you in game number 6. Flickzy's fans do it once again, this time in overtime, a much closer game, but still, it's not enough. Cachoras fall once again. They have fallen for the 3rd time in a row. And if they fall one more time, then we will have our champion for the 59th Blizzard Rocket League tournament. And honestly, with how they've been playing, I'm not sure we'll see a Game 7, honestly.
If Cachoras cannot figure their life out in this last match, we're not going to. Flickzy's has had their number since after that first series. They keep coming back. They keep putting in the work. They shut down everything Cachoras can come up with. And they need to reset their entire strategy. Or this is going to be another unfortunate event for Cachoras tonight.
Yeah, they've got to get something going. They have to find out what is wrong and fix it. I'm not sure what's wrong. They just seem like they're playing a little bit flat. I think they just need to get the comms up and play with a little more meaning. Because right now, they're just playing like they're playing to play casual. They've got to relight that fire that they had in the winners final. And even in game 2 of the series, they had a big fire underneath them. They started off hot and they played really well as a team. But ever since then, they have just been lackluster. But the time for lacklusterness is no more. They have to put it all on the table or else they are going home. with second place.
Yeah, and they've put in a lot of work, especially coming from that winner's bracket, starting off with the advantage, playing their hearts out earlier today in this tournament, and to see them come across Flickzy's here in the finals and not be able to come up with an active counter, really just is a testament to how well Flickzy is able to cover different strategies of players in this game. I mean, they came from a disadvantage. They played a team that almost beat words hard again, Cachoras again earlier, and they managed to squeak that one out. They came back to the grand finals, and they are putting on an absolute clinic against a team that we all thought going into this was going to have the run of things.
Yeah, the start of this grand finals, I thought they were almost a lock, but turns out I was wrong, because Flickzy's fans, they're showing that they are a team that is not to be messed with. And Cachoras, they are just not able to shut them down no matter what they do. They had that one game number 2, where they were able to get the better of Flickzy's fans. But ever since, it has been 3 in a row for FBF. And this might be the goal to make it 4. But it's just a little high. And Cachoras keep this game even for now. But we are nearing the halfway point. Paco looking for a solo play, but that one does not go. Now, double commit, dangerous part, but they get away with one for now, maybe not. Gamma makes the save. That was really close. And now it's Flickzy's fans starting to play a little risky.
They are playing a little bit risky, but it is nice seeing Cachoras up here playing once again a little bit more offensive, keeping the ball in the opponent's half for the first time in what feels like forever in this series. But it is going to get cleared out right away. Poncho's going to get beat. Paco's going to go ahead and take it up off the wall, try to set up a pass forward to Mezzo, who is going to take it, but he's going to get beat by Horsey, who double committed with Eno, and that does leave their third man by himself, but that is not a problem. He's going to pass it back to Eno. Eno's going to bang it down, miss the net, unfortunately, and Horsey's got a free ball here, tries to make Poncho miss, but unfortunately Poncho does get the clear and does send it back the other way. That is a big miss for Horsey, but Gamma's still in the net, able to cut that off, and a big demo to cut off some of that pressure that Flickzy's biggest fans are feeling right now.
Yeah, they're feeling really, really awkward because they have not felt this shutdown in a couple of games. But all it takes is one good setup, and they are right back in control of this game. And this might be the setup to do it. That 50 goes the wrong way for them. And just like that, Cachoras keep on trucking along, and they are back on the front foot again. And this game is definitely looking a lot more solid. But Flickzy's fans are still giving Cachoras a rough time. The demo play! That's it! Gamma flips on the death timer for Cachoras, and Flickzy nearing the cusp of the game.
That was a huge demo for Flickzy's fans to get. If they hadn't got that that ball, don't think he was saving that or scoring that whatsoever. Absolutely need that, especially because he missed the first one. But even on that follow-up touch, he looked like he was going to be blocked pretty good there. Just another example of why these demos are so crucial in this era of Rocket League.
The demos are absolutely huge. And Cachoras, they might need a demo play here if they want a chance to come back. Or they might just make it 4-0 in a row for Flickzy's fans. Because Cachoras, they're starting to struggle again. They let another one in. And Flickzy's fans looking like they might just take it. Only 15 seconds to go. That's another shot, and it is saved by Eno. 10 seconds left for Cachoras. This is their last shot. They've got it! Poncho puts it in! They tie the game with 9 seconds left. And we might just have an overtime on our hands.
That was a phenomenal team play. You could not ask for better pass, better positioning, better shot. What a way to tie this game up at the last second, exactly when they needed to. not only to save themselves in the game, but to make a statement and say that they are not out of this just yet.
They are not out of it. They stay alive, and they just need one more shot to take Game 6 and send us into Game number 7. Champions Field, Poncho trying to put something on, but it's just not going to go. Enno over towards the corner, and Poncho makes a soft save with the wheels. Now Mazo has to do something with it. Gamma is going to get the better of that ball. The setup is perfect, but the save from Paco is enough to get some pressure off of them. Paco, it's a little higher. Mazo on the shot that time. Poncho to the right side of the goal, and we are going to Game 7.
Cachoras coming in with the last minute of play, 30 seconds of that in overtime, to come back from what we all thought was game over. They looked like they were out of it. They looked like they were done. They came right back, said, absolutely not. We've got one more left in us. Let's take this to Game 7 and let's shut this down.
Cachoras, when it mattered most, they appeared, and they have gave Flickzy fans a little news flash. The King's not dead yet, and they are ready to go for Game number 7. And oh man, I am so hyped. Cachoras striking at the most opportune time, and they come away with it in OT.
That was just phenomenal. Like I said, we were sitting there. We were thinking it was over. They didn't look like they had it in them. And right as you said, they've got to make something happen right here. This is their last shot. Bang, right in the net. Beautiful, beautiful, perfect team play. You love to see it. Like I said earlier, I wanted to see a Game 7, and I'm so glad that we are going to see this.
I am happy as well. We are finally going to Game number 7. And here we are. Grand Finals. Winner take all. Champions Field, but not on Champions Field. Here we go.
It's Champions Field in our hearts.
Champions Field in our hearts, just like earlier. But hey, it's not on Champions Field. Champions Field is a matter of mindset. Game number 7. This is Champions Field, whether we're on Manfield Night, DFH Stadium, Utopia Coliseum. This is Champions Field. Cachoras versus Flickzy's fans, and Cachoras strike first. The King is not dead yet.
Really what I love to see. Exactly what we saw the first time we saw them out here tonight. Going right for it, right off the rip, pushing the game, getting the advantage, and showing the opponent what's in store for them for this series.
That is what they needed to do after everything seemed like it was lost. They are back again. 1-0 lead for Cachoras and Flickzy's fans now. For the first time in a long time, they are starting this game off on the back foot. Let's see how long they stay there. Will Cachoras be able to keep them suppressed for the entire game? It looks like they might find another, but that one is saved away by Horsey.
That was a scary rotation for Horsey. I did not think he was going to get back on that. That was amazing that he did. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Mazo's going to come through, shoot another one, put it right past you. You're up 2-0, and it's only been a minute, 2 seconds.
A minute and 2. And 2 goals are already on the board for Cachoras. And Flickzy's biggest fans starting to make some mistakes that we have not seen them make before. And here's a possible shot for Flickzy's fans. But Cachoras, despite the slow plays, they managed to hold on. The passing plays there as well. Paco trying to send it back up for the third man. But that one stays on its side. Flickzy's fans now trying to make their way onto their opponent's half of the field. So far, only 1 shot on the scoreboard. And Cachoras have had 3 shots. This one will make it 4, and this one will make it 3 goals in a row.
I know I said Flickzy's was putting on a clinic earlier, but I think Cachoras just opened up shop.
Man.
The unbelievable change of events from the last several games up until Cachoras and this one. It's like Cachoras is an entirely different team. It's like they woke up from a nap and are here to play again.
They have switched it from about 50% to 100% in just under a minute. I mean, it happened in less than 10 seconds for Cachoras in game number 5, or game number 6. They switched from playing flat to playing just like how they played in the last series. And they just gotta keep it up for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Flickzy's fan have been held scoreless in game number 7. That'll change right now, though. Inno lets that one go in. And this time, Flickzy's fans, they will strike back and cut the deficit to 2.
Seems like a bit of miscommunication there. Looks like they each thought the other one had it. They both let it go, and it's just unfortunately not the time that you want to make a mistake like that. You're much better off just both of you committing and recovering as fast as possible versus neither of you taking the opportunity to hit that ball and allowing a goal and interrupting the momentum that you guys had. Now, I don't think it's going to be enough to turn this entire thing around just yet, but it does change things for both teams.
It absolutely does. It changes everything. It changes the pace. It shows that the bees can bleed again, and that's what you need right now. That's a very awkward save from Inno, but they are able to make the save. With that, Cachoras are going to be on the back foot for now, but hey, they will not stay there for long. Paco, air dribble, just one to beat, but Inno gets the better of it, and now we go the other way again.
What a great shot from Gamma, just right over the shoulder of Mazo here. Just perfect placement. Could not have time to react and beat Poncho too on the turnaround. Exactly what they needed to do to stay on top of this. Now they're only within 1. They've got almost 2 minutes of regulation left here. They have every opportunity to take this game back and show that, as said, the Giant does bleed.
They do, and they only need to strike it one more time, and we're back to an even slate. But it's not going to be easy. Cachoras starting to play again, but that huge whiff! Poncho puts that one in, and the 2-goal lead is back. What a whiff on the defensive side from the Orange team.
Horrible whiff for Horsey. You know he's going to eat himself up over that one. And Poncho comes in, throws on the tourniquet, and stems that blood flow. Now they've got another chance. They've got 2 goals up. All they have to do is hold this down. They don't have to keep scoring. Now they need to keep up the pressure to keep them from getting locked in their half, but they don't need to score. They only need to stop the ball from going in their net. That should be their only priority. But Mazo says, no, I want another one. Gets blocked by Gamma, and it's still in the Orange half.
They want to make this game as hard for Flickzy's fans as possible. As Mazo just slowing the pace down, but Horsey, look at the huge clear from them. Enzo looking to get to that ball first, but Paco beats him to it. And we have reached the minute mark, and it is a 2-goal lead. Make that 3! Cachoras starting to run away. They've got the separation they need. And with just 56 seconds left, I think Flickzy's biggest fans might just be banished.
You know, there's still time. We've seen it here already tonight. We've seen crazy comebacks. We've seen people get that last second shot they need. But I don't think they're going to have enough time for 5 in the next minute to get a win. They are getting absolutely trounced on. They are getting beat. They are passing the ball in front of their own net and just leaving it for the opponents to just knock it into their net.
Cachoras solidify their lead even more. It was solidified in the resin, and now they have locked it in cement. Poncho looking for one more to put the official nail in the coffin. But that one does not want to go. Mazo double tap is almost on. Poncho, one more. Ball game! Cachoras by 5, and they are out of here! Cachoras are your champions!
That is... what a series.
What a series. It's only Anno. 7-2 is the score. And now we just got a freestyle. Mazo, let's see what you got. The flip
Little
reset, the
victory
double
lap.
reset. One more
Aw,
touch does not
stuffed.
happen. Oh, the
I had
victory lap.
faith in you, Mazo.
The victory lap is oh so sweet for Cachoras. And what a series from both of these teams. But in the end, Cachoras was just a little bit better. And the last second of the tournament is now done and dusted. Cachoras take the series in Game 7, and they are your Blizzard 59 champions.
What a series. I did not expect that end. That was crazy how hard Cachoras went at the end of that series. They absolutely just held nothing back, threw everything they had at him, and there was nothing that Flickzy's biggest fans could do about it.
There was absolutely nothing whatsoever. And with that, that will be the end of the tournament. Flickzy's biggest fans will be going home with the $30 portion of the prize pool. Meanwhile, Cachora's taking home the lion's share, the $70. And what a series. And I mean, what a performance from Cachoras to just completely change the tempo in a second. They were looking like they were completely done with 10 seconds left in the games in the sixth game. And then something changed, something snapped, and Cachoras immediately started striking and striking harder and faster than I have ever seen them strike before.
It's like we were talking about in the beginning of the series. They either had to play even faster than they were, or they had to slow it down. And I had that feeling that if they slowed it down, it wasn't going to work out for very well for them. And we saw that happen. They slowed it down. They hesitated. They got absolutely dusted left and right by Flickzy's biggest fans. And then, like you said, in the last 10 seconds of Game 6, they flip the switch. They get back to how they started and they just absolutely trounce everything they threw at them. Flixies couldn't do anything. They almost tied it up there in the middle of that last game, and then just took just one mistake or one miss or one whiff or just one bad rotation after another, and they just kept getting punished for it over and over again. There wasn't much they could do.
There was simply nothing at all. And we got a posture check, Doc. I need one after that. I am.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a little folded up in this chair.
Uh, what a series to end on. Definitely, by far, the two most deserving teams in that grand finals. And I think the right team won tonight. Cachoras were simply the better team and Flicksy's biggest fans in a very well deserved second place, which is not a bad place at all. But today, Cachoras just had a little more. So a huge GG's to Flickzy, and let's also not forget Bedwetters in third place. But Cachoras, what a game and what a day for you three. But I think that's about all we have for you, Doc. Is there anything you want to say before we go on home and probably go to sleep?
No, I think I'm good on that one. Like I said, it was absolutely an amazing series, and very much look forward to the next one.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Doc, thank you for joining me. Go check him out over there, Doc Roz. I've been Star Coin Hero. Huge shout out to Nick on production as always. He does an amazing job. He did an amazing job once again. But that's all from us. We will see you tomorrow. I won't see you tomorrow, but you will see us tomorrow. But you know what I mean. I won't be here. Nick will be here. Everyone else will be here. There'll be some good faces. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your night.